Hello everyone, welcome back to my plot. It's the last week of September and what a month September's been. It started off here in the UK, first 2 weeks unseasonably hot. We had temperatures up to about 28, 29 here in Devon, and over in the southeast were 30 at least. They may have even got 31, 32, but yeah, very warm for this time of the year down here in over here in the UK. The past week there has been a noticeable difference. The temperatures have dropped dramatically. It's down to about 10 degrees, 8 degrees it was this morning, but usually 10 degrees at night. We have had torrential rain all week, flooded in places. And it's turned slightly warmer again today for some reason, but we're due for more rain tomorrow. So the delicate stuff like the peppers, they're finished for growing outside now. I've cut all the peppers off, and I'm binning all the plants, and I'm cutting my losses with what I've got there. The tomatoes actually got tomato blight as well, so I gathered as many as I could, taking the ones that off plants that didn't have blight, and you know, even if they were just blushing orange a little bit, I'll take them off and ripen them at home. So I've got some more at home just ready to be used. Some more will be ready by the end of this week, and I've got quite a few stored in jars for later on this year. So not a dead loss for the tomatoes, but I have had better years, but this year's over. So I've been up here all day today, and basically what I've been doing is I've been tearing down things and covering up beds for the winter, but I'll just give you a quick tour and show you what else has been going on. Okay, now this is the sweet corn, and these were late going in this year, but there are a few cobs on there, but there is no tassels coming out the end, so I don't think they've been germinated right. And if I look down to that little small one down there, you can see that's been nibbled up by, I would imagine, a mouse. I haven't seen any rats at the allotment, but I have seen plenty of mice. So I'm going to give them a benefit of doubt and say that's a mouse. But there is they were late going in for the reasons I wasn't mobile earlier. There is some corns, but the tassels that come out the end are not present, so I don't know whether they've been germinated. I'm going to leave them in just to see if anything comes of them, but I'm not going to hold my breath. The kale is still doing well. It's looking really nice, and we're getting good pickings from that. There's 4 plants in here, a little bit of damage from snails and slugs or whatever, but the kale's doing well. The cauliflower and the broccoli, we'll have had a couple out of them each, of each ones, but I never think they're all finished now. There might be a little cauliflower or something in there. In this bucket I threw some carrot seeds in, see if I could get some carrots growing, because I haven't had any carrots at all this year. So I've got a few carrots in here. Hopefully what I'll do is I'll move this bucket into the little greenhouse for over the winter, and we might get some fresh carrots for Christmas Day. These potatoes are still doing okay. Those ones that there are dying back a little bit, so they can be picked, but I'm going to leave these ones here for a little bit longer. I've still got potatoes in tubs at the back yet, which still have to be used, so I'm not in a rush to get any potatoes out yet. Parsnips are doing well. Oops. This bed here, I planted loads of seeds in here, but it quickly got overtaken with weeds. I've weeded all this out just this afternoon, and this was only a fraction. I'd done most of the weeding last week. So there's a few beetroot in there, and there's a few Swedes in there, I believe, and a couple of cherry bell radishes. I have tried growing lettuce again in here, but nothing appears. When I direct sow lettuce, it just seems to disappear, which is not good. This bed here is going to get cleared, and I'm going to have my garlic and onions in it this year. So I'm going to have my leeks in there, garlic and onions in there. I shall probably cover over this bed for the winter. In this bed here, as you can see, I've stripped down my tomatoes. The canes are still there, I'll put them away before I go home. These beans, we did plant about a dozen of them. We've got 1, 2, 3.5 plants left. That was the third time we actually sowed these bean plants, and they just get decimated with slugs all over. That's why you can see the beer traps just around the place. Little squash plant was in too late. Nothing's going to. This is a butternut squash by the looks of it. Although we've got that little one there, as you can see, it's going to be too late in the year. We're not going to have enough warm temperatures for that to do anything. This is all going to get weeded, and I'm going to take the compost out the compost bin over there and spread it over. This side got compost from the compost bins at home, so I want to get some compost in here, see if I can improve the soil a little bit, because it gets very compact and hard during the summer because of sunlight. As you can see from these plants, these are all going to the tip. These brown, as you can see, there's a normal tomato. Let's see if I can get it. I don't know whether you can see that. There's a normal tomato colour there. But yeah, as you can see where it's gone brown, from green to brown, and that's the tomato blight. All these are going to the municipal tip. I know some people do put tomato plants that have blight in their compost bins. I don't want to. The other reason being is that there's so many tomatoes in there. They won't break down under compost, so what will happen is I'll have little tomato plants shooting up everywhere, which I don't want, because if there's any plant coming up where you don't want it is a weed, even if it is a tomato weed. A few little beetroot in here, they're not very big. I don't even know if it's going to be worthwhile taking these, but I'll leave them and give them a little bit longer. We have had a few strawberries off here. I'm going to take a couple more home with me tonight. They're not the biggest strawberries. I wasn't expecting a lot off these plants this year, but there is a few there. I'm not going to pick any more off the rhubarb either. I'm just going to let this die back for the winter. This is my carrot bed at the minute, which is growing more weeds than carrots. So the carrot there and a carrot there, so that's 2 carrots. But yeah, it's been really poor. I don't know whether it's germination or something's. I know something has been eaten up, because if you look at that, that's a carrot leaf, and as you can see, it's been chewed back. Now, it's definitely not a pigeon. A pigeon couldn't land in here and take off again, so it's going to have to be slugs, snails or slugs. So this bed is going to, next year it's going to be strawberries in here. I'll show you where the carrots are going later. Blueberries, waste of space. Raspberries, very good, but they've gone over now. They're pretty much finished. We did have a lot of these, but I'll just leave these as they are until January. Then in January I'll cut them down to within that much off the ground, weed the bed, and that'll be them ready for next year. This bed never got used this year, but I'm going to be using it for beans next year, or brassicas. I haven't decided. I might move that netting down onto this bed. Got a lot of slugs and snails damaging everything again this year. Look at this little critter. He's actually on the outside, climbing up to see if he can get in. But it seems like everything I've put in here has just got decimated, apart from I might get a cabbage off that one. This was a bean bed. Earlier today I took the bean poles down, there they are there. I've weeded the bed, covered it over. It will stay like that until next year. We have been making use of the bench. It's been nice to sit there and have a coffee somewhere nice and comfortable. The potatoes and potato pots, take them as we need them. Dalila's courgette, she's still got a couple of little courgettes in there. There's one there, and there's one there. So she might get another couple of courgettes. She's got 2 more cucumbers from that cucumber plant. We have got one little red curry squash. I'm going to leave that to see if we can get a little bit more red. And we've got a little butternut squash there as well, so not an awful lot. This needs sorted again. Luckily I've got this week off work, so if the weather stays like this I'll be up here for most of the week, even though the guys are going to be working over there with no noise. I'll just put some headphones on. I've got lots of jobs to do. I want to fix the roof on that shed. I also want to fix the path going down beside the shed. I want to put some membrane down, weed it, get all the weeds out, put some membrane down, and then put some slate on top of the membrane to hopefully stop all the weeds growing back. This planter I've made over here, which is still got to be assembled. That's going to be where I'm growing my carrots next year, so that's got to be assembled. The ground needs levelling out, and that needs assembled. I need to put a base on here on these cold frames to stop the weeds growing inside. Oh, excuse me, to stop the weeds growing inside. Oh, that's good. Some fabric. I was wondering where that was. But I'm going to put bases on these to stop them filling up full of weeds. These little ones too, well, they're not little ones too, they're actually quite big ones too. These are quite nice. So I'm going to take what's left on these and I'll leave a couple on to pod up so I can get some peas to plant from. There's a little one there, but I'll leave a couple on there to pod up. Oops. So I can get some seed for next year. They're actually quite good. As you can see, they're not small by any means, they're quite large. Very nice as well, very nice tasting. That's the raised bed I made. You'll see that once it goes up. Got some spinach there, which is ready to go out, I think. There's one cucumber there, and there's another one here. So yeah, Dalila will be taking them home tonight. Then we'll get this plant out of here and get it weeded. And I might have a go at growing some winter lettuce in here. I'll get a couple of trees like that, line them with some polythene, some compost, and put some lettuce seeds in, stick them in there and cover them up, see if I can get some winter lettuce, because if I haven't had any other lettuce, hardly any other, they've all been decimated. Those nettles are all going to get pulled out again. I hate those nettles, they always come back. And the leek bed needs a weed. So I've got a few jobs to do over the next week. Also needs a haircut. The grass is getting quite long, so hopefully that'll be final grass cut for the plot. Trim it down, fix some of the beds for winter, cover them over. So yeah, busy week as long as the weather stays nice. But yeah, it's a bit of a bonus having nice weather this time of the year anyway. Before I finish on my plot, I thought I'd give you a quick look around Dalila's plot to see what progress, and she has made progress, show you what condition her plot is like at the minute. So it's only going to be a quick tour. She doesn't want to be in it because she's camera shy, but she says I can film the plot. So let me just take you up there and I'll give you a quick tour of Dalila's little plot. Okay, I just thought I'd give you a quick tour of Dalila's plot before I go. Purple beans, these are ready to come out. I'm sure she's going to pick these before we go home today. She's got quite a few and they're doing well. Frame's a bit rickety. We had some strong wind which nearly pulled it down, but yeah, it's looking quite good. She's got some leeks I had spare, so she's got a nice bed of leeks there. They're doing well. This bed's covered for the winter, so is this bed. She may actually put some garlic in here next month when we get garlic. She's extending this bed to here, which is a good idea. She's got a little bed here that needs covered, and she's going to put brassicas in here when she's ready. And she's got another bed here that's covered and ready. So she's doing well so far. Got a few pallets during the week so she can build something. I think she wants a raised bed like what I've got for my parsnips. And she's got herself quite a nice workbench from Free Cycle. So she's doing rather well. She's pretty much there with the amount of bed she has and stuff like that. So she's doing well. She's had some apples from the apple tree. She's had plenty of blackberries and raspberries from this hedgerow. So she's doing well. What we're doing is we're bringing all the junk down to the front because we've got a skip coming on Friday, on the 29th. So get all this stuff down here and she'll be at work, but I've got the entire week off, so I'll throw all this in the skip for her, get it out of the way. But yeah, she's come a long way since she first got it, and she's getting the first produce from it. Well, that's everything from Dalila's plot. Back to my plot. Okay everyone, that's a quick tour around the plot. Show you what I'm planning for the next week. As I said, I've got a week off work, so we'll get a few things done. But thanks for watching. If you like the channel, please feel free to subscribe. It's free, it doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment, I'll always reply to the comments if I can. And a thumbs up would be good. Let me a bit of interaction, let me know how we're doing. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.